Today I'll be showing you how to change the transmission fluid in a 2016 Ford Explorer with a 3.5 non-turbo. It's the same for other years and other models. This is a limited. The transmission fluid is Mercon LV. It takes about 12 quarts. You want to loosen up these clamps with an 8mm so you can remove the air intake ducting. Got a couple hoses to remove. You need to get this out of the way so you can access the transmission fill. You may not have to remove the tubing that I just did, but I'm doing it just to maximize the space that I can get in the area. The fill cap is directly under here. You can either press this tube outside of the housing, or you can just take loose these two 8mm. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to take loose the two 8mm. In that case, I don't believe you need to remove this 8mm in the corner, but there's a couple of these press-in retainers in the bottom, just like a rubber ball and socket basically. They go down here and here. Essentially just move that out of the way so we can get to the fill cap for the transmission. I went ahead and reinstalled this air duct because this PCV tube, this hose right here, and the intake needed to be on in order to run the vehicle, because after we change the fluid out the first time, we're going to want to run it. So next we're going to remove the transmission cap and dipstick. Then we'll go underneath the vehicle. On the underneath side, we got a drain pan in place. We're going to use this 11mm wrench to remove the drain plug in the bottom of the transmission. We're going to drain out this fluid and we're going to measure it. And replace the drain plug. Tighten that down. So we're now going to take this pan and we're going to pour it into a funnel into this jug, an empty jug, to measure how many quarts came out of that. So we got just a little bit over 4 quarts. So that's what we're going to add back into the system, is 4 quarts. I'm going to add 4 quarts through the top, because that's what we removed through the bottom. So I wanted to note that if you're attempting to do a full flush of almost 12 quarts, you'll want to follow this process 3 times. So we've drained 4 out and we've filled with 4. Now we're going to go run the transmission through the gears and try to circulate the fluid. And then we're going to do this process 2 more times to try and get the 4 quarts out and in 3 different times. All right, want to get in the vehicle, start it up. We want to run through the gears. And give it 10 to 15 seconds in each gear. Try to move that transmission fluid throughout the system. I'm actually going to power brake it and give it another 10 or 15 seconds in the gears. To get the transmission up to temperature. Get fluid moving through the torque converter and the cooler. Leave it in park and idle, and we'll go outside and check the fluid. Looks like we need to add a little fluid. So went out and drove the vehicle just to make sure everything was at operating temperature. Checked the fluid again, added a little bit, topped it off to where we're at the max line now. At idle, you always want to check transmission fluid and when it's running. So we're going to replace the airbox and hook the tube back up and call it a day. Get the box housing pressed back in place and install these two 8mm. Put the upper half in place. Kind of got to lift them both up at the same time, this hose and the top of the lid, and work them together. Put your clips back on the bottom. Tighten up your clamps. Get everything snugged up, and that's the end of it. Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel.